Just join Patreon, lads, up the Toffees. Nice.
Welcome to Toffee TV. It is live at 5. It's not 5, obviously, because we have just come back from Goodison Park. We've been down there speaking to a couple of the Everton women before Saturday's game against Manchester City at Goodison Park. So if you want to watch a game this weekend, get down to Goodison and watch Everton women versus Manchester City. Should be an excellent game. They seem up for it. The girls seem up for it, don't they? Ready to put their marker down for the season.
It's a tough game, and they give some good answers, and you'll see what answers they give us. But they seem very confident. Just let us know what this sounds like, because we're using different microphones, and I can't be over there doing a sound check at the same time when I'm here. So
let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know. Let us know. Dosbich is in first on YouTube and says he wants to know his prize.
That doesn't count. You've got to be a patron
It's first
to be
on
in the
Patreon
race.
to be in the
First
race.
on Patreon, the YouTube doesn't count.
I mean, that's a bit harsh.
No, it doesn't count. Patreon.
Let's drop them.
No such thing as a YouTube first race. The patron race.
Right, okay. Andy Walker's asked a really, it's an incredible question. It's gone early. I mean, I feel like it's a Thursday question when it's no YouTube, but basically said I've got two options. One is to totally lick clean Margot Robbie,
No,
who is covered
this isn't on Wednesday.
Who's covered in melted orange club.
Is this a question? Oh, it's for you.
Yeah. Doing this means Everton win the league, or you can refuse this task, which means Benitez is sacked, Marco Silva returns, resulting in us being relegated. Do you take one for the team? Of course,
take
I'm
one for the team and lick Margot
Robbie. Oh, okay.
Oh, fine, I'll lick Margot Robbie.
Oh, I mean, Orange Club is.
Yeah, but it's like
I'm getting to
just licking chocolate.
Licking Margot Robbie clean and Everton winning the league, the Premier League.
The reason you don't like Orange Club isn't really the taste; it's because of the texture, isn't it?
It's because I was sick when I had one as a kid, and I've never been able to get over it. So I would probably feel sick doing it. Someone's got to do it.
Imagine you'd be sick on Margot
For
Robbie.
Everton to win the league. There you go. Alex P says, hello, John Joe. Gary Ward says, howdy. Meister says, yes, early days. But with this squad, do you think Everton have enough to finish in the top 6? If I had to guess myself, I'd say 7th. Rafa can surely get more out of these players than Carlo. I said before the window shut, Everton were in the pack of teams. That was 6th to 12th. I maintain that. What I would say is, I feel as though Spurs have made some good additions, and therefore keeping Harry Kane, I think, puts them ahead of us. So, but I think you're right, Meister. I think 7th is well doable, and hopefully,
you should expect no less than top 8, shouldn't you, from our squad?
Yeah.
To be honest, with the money we've spent, you should expect no less than top 6. But that top 6 right now is very hard to break into. It's doable for our squad. I don't think we're any less better than West Ham. I don't think we're too far behind Leicester. In fact, I don't think we're any behind West Ham at all. I think Tottenham, with the quality they've got, just slightly ahead of us. But they've got a new manager, and I'm still questioning about their manager. I know they've had a good start, but I suppose we'll see.
They won all 3 games 1-0. And he took a hammering in a few of them and got out of it. So, but they've got Harry Kane. Got a chance. So, but 7th should be doable, and hopefully, like this season, it gets you into the conference. Adam Lilford says, yes, I would have preferred a more extravagant transfer window, but if part of the reason we never bought more expensive players is because they were not our main target, then I can live with that. There is something to that, isn't it? There's something to not just spending money for the sake of spending money. We're all the same. We all want players coming in. We want to see progress. We want to feel like everything's moving along. But sometimes you've got to be calculated with what you're doing. If you can't get someone you really want, is it better to just kind of hold fire?
We've signed 5, I'd say, important signings. Obviously, Andy Lonergan isn't going to be. I can't really imagine us seeing him at any point. But he's back up and he's going to be training with him. And the other ones, you can imagine they're all going to be heavily involved with the first team. So really, you could have perceived our transfer window so much differently if Demarai Gray cost 20 million, like I said before, and Osterhausen could have cost 5, 10 million. Begovic might have cost about 5 million. Then all of a sudden it's like we spent 30 million this summer and we've got these and these for it. Like Darren was saying before, you know who they are, you know all the players.
Yeah,
perception, I suppose. And maybe we've got a right back on loan. You know, I think that's just the thing. It's the right back. People are. Well, if you ask someone now, how would you rate us at the window? They'd be like, this if it wasn't for we didn't get a right back. Or I'd give it a 7 or an 8 if we got a right back. We didn't get a right back.
Well, people will look at that and go, well, that was the main problem and we didn't address it, won't they? Toffee Boy says, Baz, would you rather John Joe Kenny at right back all season or eat a lifetime of supply of Orange clubs? John Joe, easily. He is a right back. Is he perfect for Everton at right back?
He's not bad. No. He's not awful. He's just not good enough.
I'd have John Joe rather than eating Orange clubs. Gee. Okay. Jake Marley says, just join Patreon, lads. Up the Toffees. Is right, Jake. Top man.
Sorry for just doing a 5-minute ASMR video there, but
Top man. You were, yeah. Adam Hockenberry on the super chat. Nice one, Adam. Says, being curious about this since James will stay, what do you think his role will be within the team? I'm open for a 4-4-1-1 with him playing behind Dom.
We were talking about this before, weren't we? And it's obviously someone said to us if he'd have played him in the squad, or if he was in his plans, then he would have played already. Obviously, he had a bit time out with COVID, didn't he? Whether he'd be used as a squad player, we might see him in cuts, but see him in. I don't know whether we'll see him in Rafa's first team. But he'll have to work really hard if he wants. He has to prove that he wants to be in there first, doesn't he? Obviously, Iwobi looks like he's working hard. He wants to be in the first team. Townsend wants to be in there. We know he does because he's told us. Demarai Gray's going to be in the first team automatically at the moment because he's been terrific. And obviously, Richarlison and Dom are 2-star players, so he's got to work really hard to be put in there. I'm not doubting his ability because I think he's probably the most talented player in the squad, but talent means nothing when you've not got your head screwed on, your attitude's not right. I'm not saying his attitude's not right, but I suppose we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, listen, he's got all the talent in the world, the lad. So therefore, you want to play him, but he's got to be doing what everybody else is doing. You can't have someone, if you're trying to create a work ethic in a team and a framework, and this is what a lot of Evertonians have wanted. I want to see a plan. I want to see evidence of what we're trying to do. I don't see an identity. I don't see this. But the manager's trying to create, listen, you play for us, you work hard, you play in a framework, this is how we do it. If he buys into that, fantastic. And if that's the case, Alex, then I could see him playing in Benitez's preferred 4-2-3-1 when he is just playing off Dom, and you've got Gray one side and Richarlison the other side maybe at times. I could see him doing that. He won't play every week. His body won't let him play every week. That's fine. But if he doesn't get his head down and buy in, and I'm not saying he wouldn't, because now I know that Turkey's still open and I know Portugal's still open. It's unlikely he'll go to them, but you never can say never.
Well, if you stay, he's a player in a lot of wages. So Everton want to get the most out of him. If you're owning a club and you're thinking how much money James Rodriguez can make us, and or like publicity he brings to the club with his name, you want him playing, don't you? Obviously, he's not going to. You can't have that influence on him anyway. It's up to the manager. But if he stays, you'd like to hope that he's in the squad, and I really hope he is, because I just want to see him at Goodison, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, we can't sit here and say, oh, I don't know if he'll fit into our squad. You can, because he's not going to do work like at Townsend, or you always might track back, get around the pitch, get stuck in. But with a talented player like him, if you get legs around him, there's always room for him, isn't there?
There's no doubting how incredibly talented the lad is. He's a fantastic football player, and like we say, if he does kind of go for it, off we go, and you get him in there, and that's the way it is. So it can be frustrating at times. It's frustrating. I know a lot of people are feeling frustrated today about the transfer window, and we said it as well, didn't we? We still, you look at it and go, we'd have loved Luis Diaz coming through the door, wouldn't we? We'd have loved another right back coming in who's going to be the first choice. But now that the window is closed, and we go with what we've got. We've strengthened the squad. Is it massively better than it was? Maybe not, but is it better balanced than it was when we started? Absolutely.
Do you have any wingers?
So we've got 2 in. We've got a backup striker in. And we've got a backup keeper. Okay, Andy Lonergan's the third choice. It's neither here nor there, but Begovic is the second choice. We go again. We'll have shrunk the wage bill a little bit. We've got some money in for the likes of Vlasic. We've got Moise Kean money in, and Thierry Small. That'll be decided over the next few weeks, and that money will come in. So already the books are starting to look a little bit better. Who knows? Maybe they sat down last night and went, there's nobody we can really get who's going to hugely improve us with the little time we've got. Is there? With 3 or 4 hours to go, who are you getting? Because anyone with 3 and 4 hours to go.
That's when you start throwing money away, then, don't you? You're spending money you don't need to spend.
So therefore,
on a gamble.
Everton might have gone, tell you what, let's leave it till January. Brands with Benitez.
The squad as it is more than good enough to get top 7, if not higher. And you've got a manager who's perfect.
You've got to have a little bit of luck. You've got to, and with a bit of luck is the results. You've got to have a bit of luck with injuries.
Absolutely.
And what you'd like to think of is Everton will. And anyone who doubts this, I fully accept you doubting of it as well. You've got to look now and go, right, okay, January. Who can we try to bring in January? It gives us 4 months now to kind of tap people up, if you like, because it's what goes on in football. Look at it and say, Ned, you're the one we want in January. We'll give you this much money. You're going to be our first choice. And then you can do the negotiation with the team and with the club. Gives you that period of time. Be great if Everton identified someone in the next week or so and went, he's our number 1 target. And they're able to speak to the club, and the club are like, yeah, we're prepared to sell him in January, and then Everton get him in the 2nd or 3rd of January, and it's done, and you go, excellent. Then you look back and go, you know what, I'm glad we didn't waste money in August, because you're doing it. But I do accept everyone saying.
But we've had summers where we've spent 60, 70, 80 million plus, and what have we done with it? And then look at under Moise, when we had summers we spent nothing, a couple million, 5, 10 million. 2004 we'd finish in the top 4. How much did we spend in the summer then on Cahill?
We spent 2.1 or 2. Cahill and Marcus Spence.
Finished top 4. We finished 17th the season before. So just see what happens. No point moaning about it.
It's done, isn't it? Grant says, Ped said weeks ago, be sheer negligence from the club if no right back is brought in. Does he still think this? Yeah, I think he will. But again, I think John Blaine brought the points up last night and he was correct. How far down the list do you go? It's okay if you loan him. If you're doing a short-term loan, as in a season-long loan.
You're not risking money going out the door then, are you? If you bring a player,
you're paying a small loan
million.
fee, and you go, we'll have him for the season. He's not, we want that fella over there, and we're going to work all season to try and get him. But we've got him in now, and he'll tide us over. We did it with Sidderby. We'll have a look at him. If he's good enough, great. If he's not, he's not.
He wasn't.
Sidderby wasn't.
But the club decided that he wasn't.
Obviously, this time Everton haven't been able to do that. So, Bobby says, as it stands, we have 25 aged over 21 players. So even if he wanted to sign a free agent, maybe he's covered at right back, we'd have to omit one of the 125 in the list. We'll register for Premier League matches. Maybe there are one or two will be omitted for different reasons as situations develop, as also other countries have different transfer window dates. Although it seems unlikely they take big earners like Hammers and others. Dick L says the squad is weaker now compared to the end of last season. It isn't. It actually, it's the actual total opposite, Dick. The total opposite of this.
Well, who's gone out the door?
Yeah, this is Dick's reason. If you compare Townsend, Gray, Begovic and Rondon to Keane, Bernard, Olsen and someone else.
Bernard played
about 6 games.
6 games.
Townsend's already better than Bernard.
And scored
what he brings. Bernard, I would say, is a much more talented footballer.
Keane wasn't here last season.
Moise Kean wasn't here. And when he was here, didn't offer anything. Offered 0.
Well, Gray's already scored.
Josh King was here for half the season, didn't do a thing. Demarai Gray's already outscored what Bernard did. Robin Olsen is that good a goalkeeper that he's gone to Sheffield United. I'm not saying he isn't.
It was good.
I liked Olsen, but I'm saying
Begovic is a good goalkeeper.
Nobody.
As well.
He's ended up at Sheffield United. So nah, sorry, mate. Totally and utterly disagree with that. The one name you haven't mentioned, the player who cannot be named. Yeah, he scored goals last season and had assists from set
There's
plays.
nothing you can do about that.
What can Everton do about that? You can't have a go with Everton about that. But you've mentioned 4 players, and he's the only one out the 4 you've mentioned who I would say, yeah, we haven't got better than him at the moment. But then Gabaman's here, who wasn't in the squad last season.
Proper number 6. So. We were sat here last before the transfer window, didn't we? With Piv and saying, "Let's look at some proper number 6 we should sign." We've got one. It's Gabaman, who's already here, who's just injured. If we get him, obviously we're not seeing him yet this season, but we did.
He played 90 minutes against Huddersfield, didn't he?
Get him up to speed and get him playing well, then he'll be an important asset as well.
Exactly. Gareth Hughes says last 2 seasons major business, i.e. 13 signings. James and Alan McCarlo players. The Corey was on our radar since Silver. Townsend and Rondon are Rafa players, so that means Brands has identified Godfrey and Gray, and anyone could see Gray with a 1.7 million buyout was a no-brainer. So that leaves Godfrey, and as good as Godfrey is, how can anybody justify Brands' wages and position when you look at that? Signings made have been spot on, but not much down to Brands. It's the signings not made that is the issue. I can't disagree, argue with you there, Gareth.
I didn't catch a word of that, to be honest. All I could hear was them laughing next door.
We're basically saying only Godfrey in the last 2 big transfer windows has been down to Brands. Everybody else has been the other manager. And Gray.
The signings like Nkunku and Branthwaite I like, which are good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. Hammers and Allen, obviously Carlo.
You're going to have to fill when I have a bite. You talk when I'm not eating. I have a bite with Mars bite. Stop talking.
I thought we were just going to inhale it.
No.
Well, let's do some YouTube stuff. Inside the box says we can't afford to buy anyone. We had losses of 190 million in 2019-2020 season. FFP would mean it would be very tight. Well, it's over 300 million in the past 3 years, isn't it? And that's where things start to happen. But maybe it's just the club trying to be good, trying to abide by the rules. Although some
year,
don't care.
When they were over the limit, they were up against it. Say last year was the time that they went, forget it, we're doing it. We're gambling, which it was. And we spent 60 million to get into Europe, knowing that we'd fail if we didn't get in Europe.
Well, it's a calculated risk, isn't it? If you don't get into Europe, you're skinned. And we finished 10th.
And it didn't work.
We got close, but that's not good enough, is it? Saul says the most frustrating thing about last night was the fact that we were willing to spend 30 million on Diaz, but not try our luck on a right back.
Well, we weren't willing to spend it on Diaz, were we? Because he didn't come. once they wanted more.
Connor says, wish we could identify a transfer philosophy besides this manager we're not going to have in 12 months likes this player.
What was that?
Connor said, wish we could identify a transfer philosophy besides this manager we are going to not have in 12 months likes this player.
Which manager aren't we going to have?
I think he's talking about like past.
Oh.
Like Schenk Tosun, Walcott.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
Gonna say, because I think Rafa Benitez will still be here in 12 months.
I said before we signed the Rafa, it should be Marcel Brands makes the signing because he's got this philosophy and idea of how we want to play.
Has he, though?
So you get a manager suit.
Has he?
I don't think he has.
And that's the problem.
Hence why we signed so many players just for a manager.
Yeah. I don't understand if there is that philosophy, you see. And I'm not saying... I'm telling you, I watched the Gary Neville and Roy Keane interview on Sky.
In the park.
And they're laughing their heads off at philosophy.
Mm.
Roy Keane's like, philosophy. You win football matches. That's what it is. There's not this philosophy. There's this thing that gets bounced around that everybody should have this way of playing and it's ticky-tacker and you do that. It's about winning football games. I want front foot football from Everton. So you don't need to establish a style of play as such in terms of it's 700 passes and then we have a shot. It's front foot, attack at pace. I've enjoyed watching Everton in their opening 4 games this season. I didn't enjoy watching Everton from Christmas onwards last season. I thought we were abysmal. Certain performances like Liverpool, but that was again what the thing was a derby match at Anfield and we scored early and we had something. But I'm talking about breaking on the front foot, crosses.
Just getting at
teams, working
not
at.
necessarily so tactical. Just get on the wing and just whip it in.
Getting crosses in, and that to me is what it is. You'll get certain teams like Brighton at the weekend, and I sat here in the summer and was an advocate of Graham Potter for Everton. I was Duncan Ferguson, Graham Potter, Christophe Gaultier. I was looking at them and going, well, yeah, they're the ones. You know, Potter will do this and do that. But yeah, our manager's just gone to the Amex at the weekend and kind of schooled them tactically. Brighton knocked it round nice for 25 minutes and then Everton took over and should have won it 4 or 5. So for every one of those teams that have that philosophy, it's only as good as the players you have. But for Everton, we like attacking football. When you're in Goodison bouncing, when Everton are having shots and a tackle flies in and crosses are getting lashed in, it's what we like as fans. It's what is our, if you want to go through that.
Stand up whenever every time someone goes down the wing.
Well, that's it. But how good is it on Saturday? We'd win the ball back and go bump, 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 and all of a sudden we were in the Brighton box. Last year we'd have stopped, turned, passed it, passed it. Slow, no one moving, slow, pedestrian, hoping for a corner.
Lose the ball in your own half and concede.
It was all the time. Now listen, it's 4 games. So in 10 more games, it might be different. But right now, this is more like what the Everton... It's a bit more like David Moyes' Everton.
We know it's the style of play he's going to be aiming to play with. He's got a fit squad. So, well, last season, it was more just like, let's try this fancy thing because we've got fancy players. Don't know we're leaking goals. Let's just do what we can do best. This is just to keep clean sheets, stay tight and compact. Well, this time, it's going to be like, this is the way we're playing. And this is the squad I've got. They're going to have to fit into my style of play anyway because it's Rafa's style of play. Carlo didn't have a style of play. He just plays
the framework, that is what you need. George Doherty says, hello, gents. I'm absolutely livid with the incompetence of this club in not securing a right-back. Simon Jordan hit it spot on today with his comments. The simple fact is the club from top to bottom is mismanaged in every single department. Can we please get people with football and experience to get this club back on track and deliver commercially? I really like John Blaine, but respectfully disagree with his stance yesterday. Why are we getting it wrong time and time again? For me, Brands must go. Don't pay a man wages like that for us not to ask questions. I'm working 2 jobs just to put food on the table, and yet what is he actually doing day to day? We can forget an all or nothing documentary because this club is absolutely petrified of its own shadow. Rant over. George, don't apologise. You're entitled to your opinion. And, you know, a lot of what you say there it does need answers by the football club.
It would help. It would help to review the job Marcel Brands has done if he knew what his job was and what he's allowed
Yeah.
and not allowed. Because I can't sit here and say he's not signed this and this, and can't say he's not gone and got his own players. We don't know if he's there to sign his own players and implement his philosophy into the.
But
club,
is he really gonna come out and go?
Maybe he's just there to just work with the manager. Was it his job to look for a manager? Do you know what I mean?
The club said he led the search.
I'd beg to differ, to be honest with you.
So,
really beg to differ.
Rue says Sanders perfect. Gareth says a lot of what Simon Jordan says is for reaction, and I don't like the fella. But a lot of his assessments on how Everton are being run are accurate. Cal says, be good to watch the women interviews. Just a shame Alicia Lehman wasn't still at us.
She's a villain now, isn't she?
Kev L says, do you feel there is less emphasis for our fullbacks to get forward now that we have wingers? I've noticed that Dean isn't getting to the crossing positions as much as he was in past seasons. If this is the case, would Holgate and Godfrey maybe suit being the backup fullbacks in this system?
Well, if you've not got a proper number 6 who protects the back four, because you've seen Demarai fly forward more, and Allen's getting around the pitch more, going chasing the ball, and your fullbacks need to stay a bit deeper, don't they? Otherwise, you end up exposed.
I think you've still got to make the runs, because that's going to open up people who are trying to throw deliveries in.
I remember like Seamus Coleman, if he goes forward, makes a run, it's a bit of a challenge to get back for him, isn't it, with his legs now?
Listen, at the weekend, we got the penalty because Seamus Coleman made Allen's ball.
Right,
if Seamus wouldn't have made the run and gone, I can't do it, we wouldn't have got the pen. So, and they could have, who knows what would have happened at 1-0. So, you know, as much as we're saying we need another right back, let's not dumb down the job Seamus is doing. Seamus is doing a fantastic job for us at the minute. I think why I kind of agree in some respects that our fullbacks aren't bombing on. I think at Goodison in the first game, Luca Dean was going on. Maybe in the away games, he's been a little bit more. Maybe Rafa Benitez is saying, you know, let's be a little bit more conservative.
Compact,
and at times choose when you make your run, because we've got Demarai Gray on the, you know, running at them on one side, Andros Townsend cutting back in and whipping deliveries.
Yeah, we had plenty of pace on the counter last week.
God, the Brighton game could have ended 4 or 5, mate, at the end. The chances we had on the counter at the end, we could have stuck 5 past them.
The Gray's goal against Brighton was like alien to me, because it's been so long since we've seen a winger who's knock it out his feet, just get yards in front of a player and just smash in the
But
back
we
of
won the
net.
ball. We broke the ball. But the thing what teams done to us, actually, ironically, last season, was we broke the ball down, went bum, 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 and it was in the net. We broke quickly. Allen got it out of his feet, into Demarai Gray, out of his feet, drop at the shoulder, dragged it across Webster, bang, 1-0. And they've gone, we were on the attack and we're 1-0 down.
You just don't expect it as well, do you? Like,
done it at Leeds.
I was saying this, I said, don't shoot. He shot it, went in the back of the net. Said the same thing against Southampton.
You've got to, because he's committing the last defender. If he carries on and holds it off and looks for a pass, the chance is gone.
But then, like, against United in the pre-season, we were like, just have a shot.
There you go.
Look at last season. Dominic Calvert-Lewin had a shot off target. Was it Dom? Was it Richarlison against Arsenal at Emirates? Had a shot off target or across, and it was the back of the net. You never know what's going to happen, do you?
You've seen even against Leeds when Rafinha bent that equaliser in, goes 2-2, and you're like, we get the ball back, Richarlison goes on that run and whips it, and you think it's in again. Mellier's scrambling, it drops an inch wide, and you're going, oh, he broke again.
He brought on Delph at 2-2, didn't he?
And we kind of got a bit of
I was thinking, I think he's just trying to and say a bit.
Moise Kean come on.
But we got all of the ball.
Well, Michael Kean nearly won it for us, if you remember the corner, the last thing of the game, the header, and I know Melier comfortably saved it, but it was in the corner, a bit more power, we win it. So, I think, you know, that's what's good about it, and therefore your wingers are supplying the width. So, Gareth, I'm not reading that out. I know you're not happy with the board, but no, it was just a scenario of what. You know, they haven't said, let's get rid of everyone.
He sent me a really good Rondon song yesterday, to be fair, Gaz.
Yeah, Gaz is boss, but it was just
like, he said...
We're going round in circles, aren't we? Ruse says, if Rondon was an unknown player from France, Portugal, with similar stats, people wouldn't be as disappointed as they are with him. I don't understand anyone who's disappointed with him, really. That's just my view.
With who? Sorry.
With Rondon. For what he is, he's a backup centre forward.
He's free and he's Premier League experienced player. He's not like he's 34 years old. He's only 31.
I always think it gives you the opportunity to identify a proper target, someone like Rondon. So again, proof is in the pudding. Will we do it? I don't know, but we should really spend the next 12 months now going, what striker can we bring in? And it might be Terran Moffey, it might be Daryl DK. They're the time. It probably will be Jefferson in January. Evan, I imagine we'll go back for him in January.
Yeah, is he on loan at Burton?
Did he go? Because I know Burton wants him.
I think he's gone to Burton.
So he might have. If he's gone on a season on loan, we can't do nothing. But Everton will monitor him for the year, and I imagine if Sheffield United don't get up, which
if we actually put a bid in for him and he ended up at Burton, that is very funny.
Well, no, because they don't want to sell him. But that was the thing.
So do we want him on loan or
no? We bid $5 million for him apparently. Or a deal where...
Sure, he has gone Burton. I'm going to check.
No, well, that was the big story. I don't know whether it confirmed, but that's what they wanted to keep him and loan him out for the year rather than sell him to Everton.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they signed him, yeah.
On a season-long loan or a short-term loan.
Let me see. I'm guessing it's a season.
Does it just say loan?
It just says completing a loan move.
Oh, fair enough. Derek Hulton says, evening all. Hello, Gary. Okay, I'm going to throw one out there from left field. Tom Davis for right back. He said this last night, Dex. Many times for England, under 21's been captain. I remember the first time he came on a sub, went into right back. It was a corner. He started barking orders at everyone. And I thought, wow, future captain material.
Like John Joe Kenny, he can do a job there defensively, but it's getting him up
not
and down
quick
the
enough.
pitch and getting balls.
He couldn't break quickly in transition with Tom. Because good on the ball, brave on the ball, gives it away cheaply sometimes as well, and he couldn't break quickly. Jake Marley says, great to be on board. A patron is right, Jake. Good Blue community, top channel. What's your favourite league for an away day? Personally, love Villa Park. I love Craven Cottage, and I haven't always seen us great there at all. But I just love that. Right on the Thames, Fulham. Right on the Thames.
£40 a pint, sorry.
Yeah, but it's little, tight, compact ground. Now they're building that big stand.
Did you see they used Craven Cottage as Goodison in Ted Lasso season 1 when he played at Everton?
But I love that ground. I do. It's a lovely, tight little ground. Everton don't have, like you said, Everton's record's not great there. But
my dad said he liked Highbury.
Highbury was fantastic. Went to Highbury a few times. That was a fantastic ground. Very traditional old ground. And obviously Everton FA Cup semi-final 84 there as well, so fond memories there. Wayne Clark chipped there in 87, which practically...
Did you ever play at some of these grounds?
Didn't play at Highbury. Should have played at Highbury for Merseyside. We were supposed to go and play there, and it got moved late on, and we ended up playing somewhere else for it. Played at Goodison, Anfield, places like that. They know Turf Moor, the Oakwell, Barnsley. Played at those kind of stadiums. They were good.
Ruskin Drive.
Ruskin, St Helens.
Yeah. Boss pitch.
Played for St Helens there, yeah. Against Pilkingtons, actually, pre-season. Played there a few times, yeah. West Horton, all of those places. But, Gig Lane, Boundary Park, Edgeley Park, all of those places. Jake Marley, I've just done Jake, haven't I? He loves Villa Park.
Was it? Yeah. A super chat from Ricky Kane. He says, all right, fellas, I wanted to give Demarai Gray a shout. He thinks he's been doing brilliant since he come to the club. He's given a side a spark. Great to see. It is really nice to see. Thanks for your super chat. It's just nice to see someone with pace. Someone who's excited and gets on the ball on the wing, and there's only a man to beat, and you don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to whip it in? Is he going to shoot and score? But I think last season, I'm not going to lie, if he will be picked up the ball on the wing, I'm going to score. Or let's see what he'll do with it now. I've been me being negative and being a bit of an arsehole, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Iwobi's been good.
It's just nice to have something positive. Yeah, Iwobi's been great this season.
It's pace with Demarai Gray. You're putting someone who's a direct...
You need someone to stretch the pitch.
Well, he's a direct runner
in the counter.
With pace into a team that hasn't got a lot of pace. So when you see that, you kind of go, we're up the pitch quickly. Because of that, Dom can stretch. Richarlison can stress the team. Then all of a sudden, teams have got to worry about you. Teams didn't have to worry about us yet last season. Dom's, you know, the way we didn't give Dom that opportunity to run.
The quickest players going forward, you say, Iwobi's not like a pacey winger. Richarlison's a pacey player, but he's not like he's not one of these fast on the ball, knock it out their feet and run onto it, and they'll run it down the wing and the yards away from the man. He's more likely to get brought down and we'll have a free kick. Dom's fast but doesn't make runs in behind. You don't see that enough, do we? I think we saw a couple of goals last season where he played a ball through and he ran onto it and scored. West Ham in the cup actually, and Kean played the overtop and he ran in and scored. So just seeing someone who can pick up a ball and just knock it in front of them and run onto it, and the man's all the way over there is just so nice to see.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
Pagoda Team says, "Hello Ned. Hello. I put a good word in for you in the comments on Sunday. Glad to see you back on screen. You're doing a great job." Wow, thank you. If you become a patron, you'll see a lot more of me. Thank you very much. That's very nice.
Kevin Blazeta says, "I know you were all joking about breaking the Orient news yesterday, but I saw he was released and available. Any chance of him as a flyer free agent pickup?" I think someone said he's off to Qatar, didn't he?
Qatar or Russia, I think it was. Or Qatar or Russia, yeah.
So I imagine he'd be a big wedge. Do Everton want to give him a big wedge? No.
They're probably just looking, look, we're more than good enough to get into Europe with this squad. Let's just hold fire and go sign Maximilian Aarons next season.
There you go. Dick, still on one, says, "I thought Marcel had a mission to reduce the age of the squad and buy younger players who could develop and possibly bring in money and resale. Begovic, 34. Well, Olsen's 32, and you were quoting him before, so he's a goalkeeper."
Yeah, but maybe we don't know that Marcel has said he likes to sign players in the age bracket to 20 and 25 or something like that. We don't know if his job is to go. Maybe his job is to get Rafa what he wants. We don't know what his job is, do we? Unless he comes out and says, I brought these signings because I wanted to, or I brought these out because I really like Begovic. He's a young prospect and I spotted him and not Rafa, it was me. And we don't know, do we? So you can't really judge him.
Like Dick's quoting, like Begovic 34, Townsend 30, Lonergan 30. Ignore Lonergan.
Lonergan's just there.
Lonergan's there because Harry Tyler broke a thumb or something and we needed another goalkeeper. So Andy Lonergan's there. So that's neither here nor there. Goalie number 3. Rondon 31, Gray 25, average age 31. Yeah. Do you honestly believe Marcel Brands, if in an ideal world, would choose those ages and those players for no money?
By the way,
and you will notice that I don't big Marcel Brands up because I don't know him. Everton haven't humanised him at all. Everton haven't told anybody what he does, what his real mission is. They've not done any regular updates. Some people might think you don't need to. Fair enough. But what I can say about Marcel Brands is, and I kind of guarantee it's the truth, there is not a chance they are the 5 players he would have signed if he had a big pot of money to spend, in my opinion.
I know we signed Alan last year for, how much did Alan cost?
20
million. And he was, 29, 30? Carlo Ancelotti player. Of
course he was.
We've established that. I can't see Marcel Brands going out and signing the likes of, like these 27, 28-year-old plus. Walcott, 20 million, he was 28 on a big contract. No resale value. Tosin, someone else who was a lot of money and at an age where you're not going to make any resale value unless you sell him in 2 years and it's because he's the best player in the world. There's other players we sign on 10, 20 million who are in the 30s, late 20s. That's not happening again. I can't really imagine. Obviously, Decore was 27.
Everything's dictated.
Every other one, Marcel Brands, we've spent big money on, has been 24, 25, younger. Richarlison, obviously a silver signing, but then Dean, Mina, Iwobi, 23. It's not like he's been spending 30 million on 27-year-old plus like the last fella was.
Well, at the end of the day, we can be critical of things he does and doesn't do. You can be critical of the right-back situation.
But we still don't know what he's been
can
told
be
to do,
critical of the, in my opinion, of the winger situation, right? But for 1.7 million, what are people expecting? You said before, and it's absolutely right, Demarai Gray, if he'd have cost £20 million, would people feel happier? Would they? Maybe they would. Maybe they'd be able to go, you know what, we got him for 20 million. You know, we all looked at Luis Diaz and we're going, getting excited. Looks boss. He's playing in Portugal.
I've never watched him, so if you said to me, yeah, Luis Diaz, £30 million on winger, we're signing a £30 million winger. Or if you said to me, Luis Diaz, he's coming on a free, I'd have been like...
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that Demarai Gray's 1.7 million.
Perception.
Reality with Demarai Gray is he's probably 15, 20 million pound player. The Premier League footballer.
25 years old.
He's just turned 25 6 weeks ago. He's quick, direct. He's probably 20 million pound player. Everton have got him for 1.7. There's no way Marcel Brands chooses to buy those players if he's got a pot of money that he can spread. 1.7 million. Some would say Everton have done incredible business to get those players in for that amount of money.
I think you're right, but who knows until someone tells us the plans.
Gareth says, to answer Jay, current Premier League grounds, I'd say Villa is a good shout for favourite. In the past, loved Charlton away in Main Road. Yeah, defo. Main Road was boss. It could be a bit moody, but it was boss. Keith Powell says, Spurs just bought a right back from Barca, Emerson Royal. REA terminates his own contract and now they have 3 right backs. Shaw Brands is pulling his hair out at Dumfries, Patterson, Dalot, Maitland-Niles. Must be screaming. West Ham buying half the Croatian national team, the Czech national team, but yeah. Shame about missing out on Diaz. 200 grand a week for a mercenary, not happy. Okay. Adam Lilford says, getting ripped in work by a Liverpool fan who claimed Juve will use Kean for 2 years and send him back. I then felt the need to tell him what an obligation meant. It's very rare that I get the opportunity to feel intelligent, but where Liverpool fans seem concerned, it's all too often. Yeah, I mean, imagine believing that Kean isn't going.
He said, stop crying because you didn't sign anyone but Konate.
Derek Balahonki says, well, we all said last year, get James legs that can run round them. Now we've got them with Gray, Ritchie and Dom Townsend. Rafa has to see that, right?
You know last season,
hopefully,
when we were complaining about Decore not getting forward enough, I know the right back comes into play as well with that. But do you think the reason Decore's been allowed to get forward so much is because we don't have a player in there, like a luxury player like James, who won't get back at all? You don't expect him to because his job is he's the luxury player.
I think what has happened, right, is that Carlo Ancelotti, he didn't really, he said himself, Decore it was Duncan Ferguson and Marcel Brands who wanted Decore. They'd identified him for a couple of years. He's seen someone come in and go, he covers the pitch brilliantly. James won't have to run as much, so you're going to do his running. But Decore was used to doing what he's doing now for Watford. So he'd break into the box, opposition box, score
played a lot
goals.
of games like in number not high up the pitch like a split striker, but like in a number 10.
He played 10, but he also played in it when he come to Goodison and dominate. He was in the midfield too.
Yeah.
He just dominates us because he was everywhere. And Ancelotti used him wrong, and he used Alan wrong, and he had the structure wasn't right. And I think what Benitez has done is might have just gone, well, you two as centre midfield players, just play the game. If he goes, Alan, you stay. If you go, then he has to stay. Have a bit of structure about you, and all of a sudden players look like they're going, oh yeah, I go and do what I did. Decore broke 3 or 4 times at the week. I never seen that last season. Travelling with the ball, you know, and it's that kind of thing. Long may that continue. Have to see, but it's just that's the way it is. Gareth Hughes says no games to look forward to for the first of the 3 to 4 international breaks before Christmas. It's a joke and breaks up momentum.
Get down to Everton and City at Goodison Park.
I know, I think he's just talking about in general. It's this nonsense of.
Yeah, I hate how early the international breaks.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Is there any feasibility in having a 4-week winter break and hammering all the qualifiers then? Yeah, one big break. I've thought this before. There should just be a block where all the games are played. So, like, England have got 3 games.
There's going to be a... Actually, I don't know what's going to go on with this World Cup next year, you know. But it's November starts.
Still haven't sorted it.
I haven't got a clue how it's going to go.
It's going to be mad. Robbie says the director of the women's team does an interview on building the currents of seeing this. Sava's done an interview today about how they put the women's team together. Oh, yeah. And yet we can't hear from
They've done really, really well, though. 9 new signings. The facilities at Baltimore Park have just shot up.
So, Robbie...
We don't even have a clue who makes our signings.
So, Sava's done the interview, building the current squad that Everton have put out on the socials. Why is there nothing from the men's side? Isn't it the same marketing people for both? Why does it seem the women are better run than the men? Is this brand's incompetence or something else?
Like they've got crazy ambitions with the women's side.
Maybe the output for the women, to make the women better, isn't what you need to do for the men's, for the start.
Well, like what we've done today, have you ever been down and done anything like that for the men's side?
No, because they're terrified to let you near anyone.
That's weird,
That's
though.
what they are, mate. They're just it's a very weird thing. I get, because I've done the MLS show and because I've done stuff with Orlando City, the team, I get invited to every one of their press conferences every week. Orlando City email me every week. Do you want to speak to the manager? Do you want to speak to the players? If we're still doing the MLS show, I'd be doing it every week. Of course, it's on Zoom because I don't live in America. But they offer me... I could have had Oscar Pereira 3 times already in the last 4 weeks on a Zoom for 15 minutes. Who's their manager. You know what I mean? I could have had players. I mean, I probably should say I'll have Daryl DK, thank you, and have a chat about...
We just have him.
And have him, as a chat.
Your team, aren't they,
Orlando City. So it's great. You know, but the thing with the Premier League is you don't get any of that. You're terrified of it. Access is nonsense.
It's become this. It has become very Hollywood, hasn't it? Premier League.
Yeah.
It's become like.
And they peddle it. They're the untouchables.
There's a massive separation between Premier League players and the fans, and the club and the fans. Where back in the day, it was like, you'd be in town after a game, and Duncan Ferguson would be in there buying everyone champagne.
The whole thing's changed. The whole thing's mad now. Adam Lilford says, much as brands might only have been responsible for Godfrey, with the other buys being a manager's choice and our financial restrictions, there probably isn't any other funds for him to play with. Yes, Adam? Dick says, sorry, Baz, usually agree with you, but there's no way Rondon is a better player than Moise Kean, who is young and scoring goals for PSG in the Champions League last season.
But he's not scoring goals. He's not doing it for us, though, is he?
Well, this is what I find funny about this, is that Moise Kean potential is there to see. Everton have had 4 managers since we signed Moise Kean. Albeit Dunk was temporary, as 3 weeks, whatever. Not one of them fancied him. Marco brought him in. Did he play him? No. Played him a few games, he's back out. Dom played. Shenk Tosun was preferred to him for quite a few games. Dunk had the 3-week spell. Didn't play him. Carlo come in. Italian, he'll get him, he'll be great, he'll settle down. Didn't play him, chased him, get him out on loan, don't want him. And Rafa Benitez has done the same. Like, they are people, whether we like it or not as fans, they are people who are professional and have had to do coaching badges. And before anyone goes, Dunk's got the highest coaching badge you can get, UEFA A Pro license.
Some managers
which some others don't have it.
Gareth Southgate didn't even have that when he was in the Premier League as a manager.
There's quite a few that but anyway, by the by, Carlo's got it, obviously. Marco Silva's got it. And obviously Rafa Benitez has got it. They see the players every day. We do that thing as fans where people who don't play get better. Get him in, give him a go. They're seeing them every single day. 4 managers. And Maurizio Pochettino haven't fancied them fully. Pochettino played them, don't get me wrong, used them. Where's the money to buy him? They said to Everton, in that loan thing, we will buy him.
They spent 40 million yesterday.
We will buy him by July the 1st, I think. It wasn't like it was a loose agreement. That was what the plan was. It was on, he was there. He wanted to stay. That was why he was like, hope to see you all back. Did they buy him? No. Because when it push come to shove, they went, not sure. Not sure. So we can sit here and you can say to me, Dick, Moise Kean is well better. And I mean, listen to you ask 19 Premier League managers if they'd rather have Kean or Rondon. Only Rafa's the only one choosing Rondon.
Right. Forget his ability, right? Rondon wants to play for Everton. He wants to play under Rafa. He wants to shine. Moise Kean does not want to play for Everton Football Club, I promise you. And I don't even know anything. I don't even know how to time your laces.
I'm not. You might be missing the point. I'm not sat here saying Moise Kean isn't talented, because of course he's talented.
Bags of promise,
of course he's talented, but what's he done? You can't keep hoping that someone's going to do something for you. So if you're asking me, if Everton were playing Burnley, who had one up front, Moise Kean or Salomon Rondon, I'd have Rondon.
You don't have to change your style of play if you're putting.
And I know, but I know what I'm going to get from him. I've just watched Moise Kean at Huddersfield last week.
He got sent off for putting his hands around someone's neck.
Scored a nice goal, to be fair, but he didn't do much else. And every time he played, I was willing him. Come on, do it now. Show us, show everyone. Willing him to do well.
I just want to see Rondon and Dom up front together, like a battering.
Other strikers I want. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm sat here, but you're wrong, Dick, in my opinion. Jake says, why can't the club adopt a similar strategy with the men's as they do with the women's? They can both get the PR and recruitment spot on with the women's side, but the men's has been so amateurish and scattergun. Probably because the women's side, they want to be in the limelight. They want to do it. They want to promote themselves. They want to talk you through the process. Does Marcel Brands? Don't think so. Do Everton, the playing side and the men's team want to push all this, give you the information? I don't think so. Everything seems to be shrouded in mystery. So, Daniel O'Connor says, I'll be honest, I'm not as positive about the strength of the squad as you guys. That's fine. Other clubs have stronger squads, though maybe not stronger first 11. But I think we have a manager who'll get more out of what we've got. As silly as it sounds, might bring a little bit of luck that could scrape us that long-awaited trophy. Moise was great for us, but felt like an unlucky manager. That might just be me, I don't know. Yeah, I can't say you're wrong, Daniel, can I? Have other teams in that bracket got stronger squads? Spurs have. But have Wolves, are we including us? Have Leeds? I don't think so. I'm Leeds. And Leeds have...
I don't think Leeds will finish as high as they did last year.
No. West Ham, have they got a strong squad? I wouldn't say so. Got a good team. Arsenal have got decent, but there's still some glaring holes in it. Who else is there? Villa.
Arsenal's problems.
Villa, nice team. Strong squad? No, not really. Who else was up there? That was it, wasn't it? West Ham, just mentioning them, Everton. So there's a few teams that are much of a muchness, in my opinion. But we'll know at the end of the season, I guess, won't we? But no one's right, no one's wrong, are they? It is what it is, isn't it? Really.
MP says Kean is like Balotelli. They don't have the desire to kick on.
Yeah.
I don't think his attitude's there with Moise Kean.
I just look at people like Rafa. I just look at people like Ronaldo, who's 36. Will Moise Kean still be moving to top clubs at the age of 36? Has he got the desire to do that? I'm not so sure. I think he'll be making Instagram videos.
I just look at players like Dom for a start. Are you going to be good enough to get into Everton's side? Obviously, probably not going to happen now, is it? He's obviously off, but was he going to be good enough? Maybe he's not got the desire.
Carl said, I heard the rumour that Mrs. Brand sent Marcel to Waitrose for milk 3 years ago and he still hasn't bought her any. Maybe he should stop off at Arsenal to see if they have any. Rennie says, evening boys, I agree we do look slightly better of the first 11 wise. Now we have wingers and the players brought in do other. But isn't anyone worried about the bench? It's just as small and poor as last season. So any injuries to the team, and it's deja vu. What?
No, we've got a bit more of a
What about the bench, though?
squad,
So the bench is going to have Andre Gomez, who was a starter. Tom Davies, who was a starter.
Started about
20 odd games last season.
Gabaman is
Jean-Philippe
number 6.
So there's 3. Salomon Rondon as a striker. So there's 4. You're going to have 2 centre-backs, whether it's Mason Holgate and Michael Keane, if people got what they wanted, which was
you got options between...
Jared Brantwaite's there, Anthony Gordon's there. We've also got Alex Iwobi there. We've also got Tyler Onyango. If you're talking about pathways, he's close to training again. I think you're also going to have...
Tony G's not gone out, don't forget.
Who?
Tony G.
Anthony Gordon is still around.
Big Tony G.
Ellis Sims is starting to train. I think Benitez wants to have a closer look at him.
Told me back in November, wasn't he?
Reece Welsh has been training with the first team. So all of a sudden you're talking 12, 13, 14 players on the bench. Everton were already saying the squad's too big, the wages are too big. Would I like more? Absolutely. Absolutely, I would. Fast, quick, hungry, physical footballers.
You don't count under 21s in your 25-man squad, have you?
No.
So what's our actual 25-man squad?
Well, Everton will confirm it in the next couple of days as the window's shut. Keith says, I do think the club let themselves down mainly by lack of communication between them and supporters. It's okay having a long-term plan, new strategies, philosophies, but if you don't tell the loving supporter what they are, how can we understand where you're coming from? It will take away so much negativity and uncertainty with the ranks of fans. Simple. Spot on, Keith.
It just feels a bit very distant, doesn't it?
Yeah,
club.
They don't want to tell you anything. Gary Ward says, Graham Hines has finally become a patron up the Toffee. He says, right, Graham,
nice.
top man. Gary Ward welcomes him. Owen Brown says, be good, Baz, if you and John can sit down now and go through the spending this window, show our accounts, etc. Maybe put a positive spin on it. Top work as always. Yeah, but John will be doing for patrons business with Blaine, so we'll get him to do some of that stuff.
I wonder what it's like watching any other business for the first time.
Don't know.
The one tomorrow will be good with all those Australian stuff.
Ruse says, don't understand how people can say we have a worse squad than last year. We finally have some pace in the team, some attacking players, impact players off the bench. People keep saying Rondon isn't a good replacement for Kean, and we didn't even have Kean last season. Spot on, Ruse. Spot on. Phil McCauley says, lads, you know what? Marcel needs time and a constant manager to work with. Rafa is the 3rd man in 4 years. To be honest, to be honest, if I'm trying to defend Marcel Brands slightly, it's actually 3 years it's 3 years and 3 months. The only he's had about to have his 3rd manager. The whole board needs a shake-up. Usmanov nephew put up a post saying new era under Rafa. Wouldn't mind saying bye to Bill and Denise and bringing some of Farhad's financial mates. Surely he knows some people who could do a job. Anyway, Ned, any more news on Calvin Harris at Newcastle?
I said Gavin. I've watched the film a million times. I said Gavin Harris.
Jake Marley said, totally agree with you on Brands, Baz. I can't for the life of me understand why the club don't have him communicate with the fans more through channels like yourselves to humanise him, and so we can know him both as a man and a doff. It'd be so easy for them to be more transparent on what his role actually is, what his thoughts are on things, his ambitions, his plans. Yet another example of us getting communication between the club and the fans horribly wrong. Agreed. Paz says, I think Rafa, I didn't even mention John Joe Kenny then, actually, when I was talking about subs either. Paz says, I think Rafa will coach and Fabian Delph, whether you rate him or not. I think Rafa will coach and improve John Joe and Anthony Gordon to be competent backups to get us through the year. Expectations were only raised when Rafa said he was still looking last week. Most people thought we were done by players leaving. Mike Barrett says, defo need a show called Dick L's Mad Takes. Each to their own, Mike. It's all opinions.
I just want
no wrong, no right.
I just want someone to go back to every single page when I'm at 5 and just find clip all of Dick L's story, like the stories where he comes on after a bad day and then tells us his day. That'd just be the saddest thing ever. But also the funniest.
Sai says, didn't the Italian manager say you don't know which Moise Kean you get? One day world class, the next day, shite, far too insistent.
Someone did say that.
Bonucci said it as well in the Italy squad. They asked him why Moise Kean had been left out by Mancini, who apparently loved him, even though he bombed them from the 21s. And Bonucci said he's great one day and he can't trap a ball the next. And until he can sort his attitude out, words to that effect, he's not going to improve. And that's players who train with him every day, but obviously Dick knows something more than what Bonucci does, maybe, I don't know. Paddy says, as Simon Jordan literally nearly put Crystal Palace out of business, the last person I'd listen to when it comes out to run a football club is him. Fair comment. Crystal Palace did nearly go out of business due to Simon Jordan running them. Mike Barrett says, have you thought about inviting Marcelo for smoke and a pancake? Might try it. I just think, I know people are saying like we could do it and that would be great, but Everton could do it. Dead easy. Into camera, just ask them, just give us where we are, what the roadmap is.
Can they though? Because they'll ask him a question, you won't be able to hear him.
Paddy says, in relation to Brands, when people say he's failing, we don't know what his objectives were. Everyone assumes it was player recruitment, but what if the priority was cutting the wage bill and moving players on? If it's player recruitment, though, not signing permanent right back in 3 years is negligence. And that's where the communication, what we're talking about and craving for, Paddy, comes from. And it's non-existent, is it? But hey-ho, what can you do? Stephen Segerberg says, cannot understand Nkunku's loan deal. Dean needs pressure putting on him like any first-team player playing at the highest level. Dean has not started the season strong. Say, though...
Yeah, Nkunku's 20... He's 20 now, isn't he? 21, 20. He needs first-team games.
Say he didn't think Nkunku was good enough, though, anyway. Because he needs to play.
If Dean were to get injured now, you'd probably play Godfrey there, wouldn't you? You might not think Nkunku's ready, so... It's better him sending out on loan rather than sat there doing nothing, because then you end up playing his contract running down, he's not playing football.
Yeah.
And you'll end up getting nothing back for him.
I don't know. Daniel Farrell says, an unknown Everton senior staff member apparently said the team wasn't coached for 18 months under Carlo. No, I don't know. I think we just need to have a lower expectation maybe this season. I don't mean we should drop our standards, but I just think we just need to go, look, we are where we are because of past mistakes. We'd have all loved to spend money and love to buy attacking wingers and right backs and all that. But it hasn't happened. The window's shut now. So let's just try to watch each game week by week, see where it takes us, and then maybe in January they can reevaluate.
I just want just get to the end of the season just with some stability. Get in the top 8, keep your manager, and improve next summer, because the past couple of years have just been crazy. Like, we just need to keep hold of a manager for a couple of years, get a couple of decent finishes in the top 8, and work on from there, see what happens. No point sitting there going, we need top 6 now. I know the plan was to be in Champions League when we get to the stadium, but let's just have some stability in the club.
I think, to be honest, mate, everyone talking about Champions League and all, I think a lot of Blues, I can't speak for Everton, this is just me. So I don't know whether you might agree, you might disagree, I don't know. But for me, getting into Europe 2 years on the run would be a big thing. Like finishing 7th and 7th again, or 7th and 6th, just like Europe, done well, had a good season, qualified for Europe next season, done well again, qualified for Europe. It feel like we were building momentum. Where at the minute, you're like, I'm sat here going, could finish anywhere between 6th and 12th. And it's difficult because there's a lot of teams all pushing for the same thing. And that's why I'm saying about expectation. Maybe we just go, let's take it week by week. We've had 4 games. We haven't lost any. When people said we'd lose all the first 4, you know, it'll be bottom of the league by September and all that. Well, guess what? We're joint 2nd in September because it's September now. So could change, of course it could, but it could get better. Who knows? You don't know, do you?
Patrick Lally says, Everton finished 4th in the Premier League with Tony Hibbert as right back and Alessandro Pistoni as backup. Top 6 is still a possibility this season. Tony Hibbert, I liked Tony Hibbert though. I was too I was a very young lad and I liked Tony
Yeah, but
Hibbert.
Tony
I
Hibbert
didn't care
was-
that he wasn't
listen,
world class.
Tony Hibbert was 100% battle hardy right back for Everton. Was he Cafu? No. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't fantastic going forward. Wasn't Seamus Coleman, but he was a solid right back. And Everton had craft and hard work in front of them, so he functioned. David Moyes was all about functioning, a functioning team. You know what I mean? And that was what it was about.
Plus, that was before Coleman and Baines invented. Well, actually, Moyes invented fullbacks that just flew forward.
That was great. Coleman and Baines were incredible, but things changed, don't they? So it is what it is, isn't it? Right, let me just bin this. Right. Yeah, defo Bond for good, thankfully. To the orifice, we're going to finish now because when you've been doing streams so long and things like that, and you get
got more stuff to do, haven't we?
You get strange people in the comments. You just think, what's the point?
Back to Patreon tomorrow.
Yeah, thank God. Who do you think Pep will succeed Pep at Man City?
Ooh.
Basic trig, he's done. That's that kind of thing. Just the most nonsense thing I've ever seen. Probably a cop-out, to be honest. Die-hard cop-out.
That's interesting. Kevin Kraft says Gareth Southgate. I don't think Gareth Southgate.
No. Because imagine
if the owners want to keep like the nice, fluid, wonderful football. If they've got a Champions League, if they've still not got a Champions League, and Pep goes, I think they'll just go after the best because they'll.
Who is the best though? Then
we won't know.
It's tough, isn't it? Yeah, but he's going in 2 years.
Probably Rafa Benitez. But if Guardiola gets the Champions League and then it's the end of an era, they want to build a new squad and have a new philosophy with a new manager, all that stuff. Graham Potter.
You press the thumbs down.
Potter.
Yeah, it's a tough one that because it's what you do with Man City, isn't it? Because they're so good, and Guardiola's so good. Yeah. But I don't know whether
if Pep can't win him a Champions League and then he leaves, they must be like, oh, what are we going to do now? Pep wouldn't even. They must be just like Thomas Tuchel. Do us a favour, mate.
See, I'd have gone Nagelsmann because he was the natural fit, but he's going to buy him.
Yeah. Hines.
I think what they'll do is they'll be assessing now. If Vieira did it, because Vieira was in their group, don't forget, if he did a good job, maybe they don't. I think they were hoping Arteta might do something.
He is the fellow who's just gone to Germany, hasn't he? Bayern Munich's old manager. Nagelsmann went from
Hansi Flick.
Hansi Flick.
He's gone to Germany. Heinz, I was thinking.
I was thinking of I don't know if it was Heinze or Hansi. So he's gone to Germany, and Nagelsmann went from Leipzig to Bayern Munich, didn't he? So Hansi Flick was there when they won the Champions League 2 years ago. Yeah. Because I think Klopp will leave Liverpool at the same time. Pep leaves City, but Klopp will go to Germany.
Well, he'll have a year off.
And I think
he's already said he'll have a year off. And so will Pep. So it'll be interesting. To the orifice says Diego Simeone. That football would be... You'd be black to white though, wouldn't it? Simeone, good manager, but...
Simeone won't... I don't think he'll leave.
Mathew, 101, says Graham Potter.
Great minds.
Good football and philosophy. Could he do it? Pochettino, Matty says. But I don't know whether he's put Potter and Pochettino together.
If they've got like a great squad and Pep leaves and they've still not won the Champions League, they want to we've got a great squad before it gets all old and leaves. Let's just get someone who can win as a Champions League quick because the last fella couldn't. But like if they won a Champions League and it's like they're at the height, it's like right, let's start again. Let's sell these players while they still got resale value. Get new players in, get a manager in, start the philosophy again like Arsenal have done with Arteta. Yeah. Maybe it might be Arteta. He might be available by then.
What I was saying was I think the plan probably was Arteta.
Do you think?
Go there and do well.
I bet it's not now.
But is he even gonna see the season out at Arsenal?
Well, yeah, Eugene McGeever says I think Arteta will come back to City when Pep leaves and Arteta will get the sack from Arsenal and take over at City when I don't think City that naive to go. He's just been sacked from Arsenal. Go on then.
It depends, doesn't it? If everything else is in place, then he becomes a head coach, who knows.
Maybe.
John Washburn says, in the States on draft day, which would be the equivalent, it's wall-to-wall interviews with teams and coaches talking about the decision-making process, why they like certain players, etc. It's not like Not as like the cavemen inventing fire. I love Everton as much as anything, but in every respect, it's not NSNO by a long shot. Phil McCauley says, lads, we think we're bad. Imagine being Newcastle fans. Willock as the only signing. Oh, and Calvin Harris. Absolutely, Phil.
Gavin Harris.
Right,
Willock's a good signing.
Yeah.
Willock's a good signing.
That's a good place to finish. We've got another 2 things to do before we go home, so we are finished right now. Thank you all for joining us today. It's don't forget, give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And thank you very much. If you want more videos, including daily live videos, why not become a patron? It's up to you. Good community over there as well. We do daily live videos all the time, a good interaction, and
AOB tomorrow.
No spamming. And yeah, so there you go. Big thanks to Basic Trig, who's done a sterling job as well in the comments section today. Nice one, Basic lad. Top man. Cheers, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care. We will see you later. Bye.